The subject of dressing is a contentious one, especially when it comes to people understanding various parts of the Bible, of the scriptures. But recently, I listened to a sermon, and the preacher was talking about a madman, and he says that a madman will not go around shouting that I am a madman, and you will not even need somebody to tell you that this person is mad. The reason is that a madman behaves in a certain way and dresses in a certain way. So this man does not need to inform people of the kind of a person that he is or she is. Their behavior and their dress code will tell us everything that we need to know. So the clothing that you wear can inform other people the kind of a person that you are. The dressing that you wear will also inform God the state of your heart, because what is within your heart is what is revealed outside your body, is what we can see on the outside. So the subject of dressing is something that you need to take seriously, especially if you are a believer, and most especially when you are a leader of worship in whichever church that you go to. So I have come up with 3 guidelines that I believe will help us to dress better and approach God with the respect that He deserves. The first one is God has given us guidelines in the scripture to help us dress well. And He has done this for every Christian, for every believer. So this is not just directed to the praise and worship ministers. It is also directed to anyone that calls themselves a believer. One of the scriptures that talks about people dressing is 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 9. It says this: I also want the women to dress modestly, with decency and propriety. This is Paul talking to Timothy and giving guidelines on how people should appear. People that call themselves Christians, where Timothy was, should behave. And he mentions that women need to dress in this manner, in modesty, in decency, and propriety. I think this was a way to bring some order in the way people would relate in that church or in that community that Timothy was ministering. This is also true in our modern society. We want to be people that are cautious with the way we dress. I have said that what you dress communicates something to the people around you. So when you dress in a certain way, ask yourself, is this communicating the love of God? Is this communicating decency? Is it communicating modesty? Am I doing this appropriately or with propriety according to what the scripture expects of me? And this especially applies to those people that are leading others in worship. If you are going to stand before other people and you are going to lead them in worship, you need to ask yourself these questions. Number 2 is dress in clothes that give you freedom to worship. You need to be free when you are worshiping God. You need to be able to lift your hands when it is time to lift up your hands. Dance when it is time to dance. You know how our African music is. Most of it involves dance. And so when you go before the presence of God and you are required to dance, or you feel like dancing to God, if you are dressed in clothes that are too tight for you, or in clothes that are too short for you, then you might not do it according to what the Spirit is leading you to do at that moment. You cannot do the David dance with clothes that are too short, because you might uncover yourself and communicate different messages to the people around there. So make sure that you are free to worship, because God deserves a worship that is given from the heart and it has been expressed fully before Him. Number 3 is, because God is King, He deserves the best that we can offer as believers. Imagine today you have been invited to the president's place, the place where your president lives. What would you do? How will you appear in his presence? Would you go to the president's place dressed skimpily with lipstick all over your lips, and you are given a microphone to speak, and you are smearing your lipsticks over the microphone, and how will you appear? Ask yourself that question. I believe most of us will take the best clothes that we have in our wardrobes and put it on, and then go there, dress smartly and be clean, and go before the president and express ourselves according to what has taken us there. If we can do this to a president who is an earthly king or who is an earthly leader, how much more should we dress when going before the King of Kings, who is our God? How much more? We need to be even a notch higher. That is why it is good for you to have a Sunday best, have a good cloth that you can appear in with before God's presence. You see, God is the King of kings. He is above your president. He is above your governors. He is above any leader that you consider important in your life. So because he is above every other person, then we need to appear before him with all the respect and honor. And this goes even a notch higher. When Jesus has saved us, the Bible tells us that he has made us kings and he has made us priests. According to the book of Revelation chapter 1 and verse 5. He has made us kings and he has made us priests. Now imagine how kings dress. In your imagination, a king will obviously have good clothing and they will have decent clothing because they want to appear as an authority in that place that they rule. And imagine a priest. The priests in the scriptures would appear before God with specific clothes that God had designed for them, that God had given instructions for them to appear with. If they did not follow God's guidelines, then God will not accept the prayers of the children of Israel. So, because we are kings and we are priests, this is a good motivation for us to dress accordingly and offer ourselves as living sacrifice, as the scripture tells us. As I finish this, there is a final guideline that I would like to add on what I have just shared. Somebody said that if there is a part of your body that you consider private, cover it. So if you are still there and listening to this, please like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you do this, you will be helping me reach more people. You will be helping others to get this message. Thank you very much for taking your time and listening to me, and may God bless you.